physical application or physical representation of what do you mean by a column matrix or row matrix. Do you remember that first class? What do you physically mean by a column matrix like this? What do you mean by x1? What is x1? Yes, so we have seen that if I write, I'm not talking about A right now, I'm just talking about x1, x2 and x3, and I have drawn this symbol also here which denotes vectors. So in the first class, we have seen that these are nothing but the vectors. Now you must be thinking that we haven't studied anything regarding these vectors. Ma'am has wasted a lot of time in the first lecture and just made us like confused that why we are studying vectors and matrices. But that was very important because you must have always thought that why we are studying eigenvectors in the chapter of linear algebra. Like अचानक से मतलब इतने दिनों से equations पढ़ रहे थे, अचानक से vectors आ गए. Are you able to feel it? So why these vectors are coming into the picture? Because these are vectors. If you are not able to understand that these are vectors, then you can't understand why we are studying this topic of eigenvectors in this chapter. Yes? So let's start. Now I'll draw this x1 vector on this plane. Up to that time, just give me, if you multiply a with x1, then what will you get? Multiply a with x1 and give me what will be the result. What is the result on multiplying a with x1? Yes, be fast. Average 6, 4, very easy. It's a matrix of order. What is the order of A? 2 cross 2. It's a matrix of order 2 cross 1. The resultant will be having an order of 2 cross 1, means again it will be a column matrix like this, and the elements will be, if you have multiplied, you must have got it 6 and 4. I'm not multiplying, you can do that. Yes? Tejas now has answered correctly. So 6 and 4. Okay, so if I say that this vector is y1, the result is nothing but y1, let's say. I am naming this as y1. I can draw this y1 on this plane. All of you also try to draw this y1 on the plane. So if you have drawn them, then you must be getting this vector as something like this. y1 equal to a times x1. This is just your physical interpretation of eigenvectors, which is never asked in GATE, but it is always asked in interviews. Okay, so if you want to write, then you can write along with me. I'm going very slow, I guess. Okay. So now you can see easily that what happened to this initial vector. Can you tell me what happened to the x1 vector when you multiplied it with this matrix? It converted into some other vector. Are you able to see it? This was your initial vector, blue vector was your initial vector, and now it has converted into some other vector. This process is known as linear transformation. Linear transformation. What is happening with the vector? It is getting transformed into some other vector. Okay. So what this matrix is known as? It is known as transformation matrix, because it is transforming one vector into some another vector. Yes. This process is known as linear transformation. Are you able to get this? Okay. What transformation has occurred? Its length has changed. Yes. Its length has changed and its direction also has changed. The vector has been rotated with some angle. So direction and magnitude both have changed, means vector has been transformed. Okay. Now let's say if you multiply the same matrix with the vector x2, can you find out what are you getting? Let's say this is y2. Multiply a with x2 and tell me what are you getting. So x2 is 0, 1. I'm drawing here. Ax2, what are you getting? 1, 2. 1, 2 you must not be getting. Check again. Yes, 0, 2 is the right answer. Oh, please people, just multiply carefully. If you are not able to multiply, then there is no point of studying linear algebra now. Okay, I successfully wasted 12 hours of this class if you are not able to multiply. Please have a practice. Okay, no need to be sorry. I'm just trying to get your focus here, that multiplication and all those things you should get into your practice right now, till now. Okay, so what happened? This was your initial vector 0, 1 pointing towards the point 0, 2. Now what happened to the vector y2? Where is the vector y2? It is towards the point 0, 2. So this is the vector towards the point 0, 2. This is y2. Again the vector has transformed. Again this vector x2 got transformed into another vector, but this transformation is somewhat, you can see, it is somewhat different from the previous transformation. Yes or no? Now in this transformation we can see that only the magnitude has been changed and the direction of the vector remains the same. Yes or no? What has happened? In this particular transformation of this vector, what happened? Using the same matrix, we have been able to transform into some other vector, but the vector is special this time because there is no change in the direction but only in the magnitude. Okay, such special vectors where on transformation only the magnitude changes but not the direction are known as eigenvectors. These are your eigenvectors. So if you have used your mobile screen, all of you are having smartphones, we know what is transform regarding the transform. Now you will see what is eigenvectors. So when you apply your zoom operation, okay, when you apply your zoom operation, then what happens? Whatever point is there, if the point is here somewhere, and on zooming it, what will happen? It will expand. Means its direction will not change, only its magnitude will change. Its magnitude will get zoomed or zoomed out. Okay, yes or no? Direction remains the same. That is the use of this eigenvectors. That point or this point is actually representing your eigenvector for that particular operation. Understood? So these are very important. What are eigenvectors? Eigenvectors are those vectors which on performing transformation do not have any change in their direction but only change in their magnitudes, and the magnitude by which or the amount by which they change is given by the respective eigenvalue. So I can write because this y2 is nothing but a multiple of x2, so I can write it is lambda times x2. So lambda denotes what? Lambda denotes the factor by which your magnitude is being changed. So that is known as your eigenvalue corresponding to your eigenvector x2. Got it or not? Any doubt? So this is what is eigenvector. I am very sure that you must not have seen this kind of explanation of eigenvector till now, but in GATE exam and in IIT's interviews also you are always asked about this, what are actually eigenvectors. Okay, so you must be able to now answer that. Okay, so now the question is there only one such vector in which the transformation results in the multiple of the same vector? So no, you can see that if you take this x3 also, and multiply with the transformation matrix, what are you getting? Multiply it with the transformation matrix, what are you getting? Yes, 3, 3. You must be getting 3, 3. So again, it is nothing but 3 times of your 1, 1 means that your x3 is again your eigenvector and the corresponding eigenvalue is 3. The magnitude by which the vector has stretched is 3. Similarly, eigenvalue here for the second x2. What is the eigenvalue? Eigenvalue is, it is nothing but 2 times of your x2. So eigenvalue is equal to 2. Okay. So everybody has understood it. So very good. So if you want to write it down, then please write it down for, I will give you 1 minute. Then we will come into the mathematical relationships to find the eigenvalues and eigenvectors. So what we have seen regarding this eigenvalue is that if you have some matrix A and if you multiply it with some vector x, then this x will be this eigenvector if your result is some multiple of x that we have seen. Okay, in all this conclusion we have arrived at this point that if you multiply some vector x with the matrix A and as a result if you get your output vector as the multiple of your initial vector, then this is known as your eigenvalue problem. Okay, this is known as your eigenvalue problem. So we will use just this equation to solve or to write our equations. Okay, very important equation, ax equal to lambda x. Now I can take this lambda x terms to LHS and I can write it like this, equal to null matrix, equal to 0 not, it's null matrix because it's a metric equation. Now can you take this x, out of this or common from these two terms? So yes, we can take this as common. So I have taken x as common. Now tell me, have I written it correctly or there is some mistake in this equation? In the last equation, is there any mistake or is it correct? Reply. Let me see how many of you are sleeping. Thank you. So there will be a I here. Why I here? What is I? I is identity matrix and there should be I because A is a matrix while lambda is what? Lambda is not a matrix. Lambda is a scalar. Like in the last case we saw lambda to be 2 or 3. So lambda is a scalar quantity. We have seen that we can't subtract a scalar quantity from a matrix. For the subtraction to be possible, what you should do? You should convert the scalar into some matrix which is done by using identity matrix. Okay? Yes, understood. So now this is the equation that we have arrived at. Okay? Now in books, after this step, you find that this step. You must have studied this topic in your BTech level also. So in all the books, you must have seen that after this step they write like this. But they do not give you the reason. Why so? Can you tell me what is the reason of from this step coming to this step? Yes, obviously to find the values of lambda, but what I'm saying, this is a mathematical equation. And if I write this, this implies this. Then why this implies this? I'm asking you that thing. So we have seen that if two matrices multiplication gives you null matrix, then it does not imply that either A is null matrix or B is null matrix. This does not imply this. This is not true for matrices. Okay, so we can't say this is the reason that these two are multiplied, so that means that one of them is 0. That does not mean that. Okay, it is homogeneous solution, homogeneous equation. So this, if you compare with our system of equations, this is nothing but a homogeneous system of equation. And we have seen that in homogeneous system of equation, we have two cases. One is the case of infinite solution and the other is the case of unique solution. Yes or no? This is compared. This is exactly the case of homogeneous system. So in this system you will have infinite or unique solution. But let's say if the system is having unique solution, then you know that there is only one solution and that solution is what? X equal to 0, y equal to 0 and z equal to 0. Yes or no? So this means that that zero vector or the origin is one of your eigenvectors. But Will this be a helpful solution to you? So no, you are finding out a vector on which on transformation gives you the same directional vector, but if you are saying that origin is that vector, so that's not a fruitful answer to you, because we already know that if you multiply anything with 0, that will come out to be obviously 0, but that is not what we were looking for. We were looking for some vector for our physical problem, so that we can zoom it or zoom out, whatever it was. Okay, so we will say what, that it is having infinite solution. The system should be having infinite solution, so that you can get some feasible value of your eigenvector. Okay, that is the reason I'm saying that it is having infinite solution, and we have seen that for infinite solution the determinant value is 0. In this case, this A matrix is corresponding to A minus lambda I. That's why I said that determinant of A minus lambda I will be 0. Understood or not? Understood? So, write this reason down. And this A minus lambda I equal to 0 is known as characteristic equation. Characteristic equation. Okay. Now we will solve this equation to get the values of lambda. Lambda means eigenvalues. So the roots of characteristic equation, write this down. I am writing down in short. Characteristic equation CE. Roots of characteristic equation are eigenvalues. Okay. So let's find out the eigenvalues of this matrix. If you solve this determinant, you will get 4 and minus 5 as 2 eigenvalues. Okay, 2 eigenvalues. So these are the 2 eigenvalues. Now if I say that if A is an n cross n matrix, then how many eigenvalues will be there for this matrix? Here A was 2 cross 2 matrix, so eigenvalues came out to be 2. If A is n cross n matrix, how many eigenvalues will be there? Yes, obviously that will be n. So for if A is an n cross n matrix, then it will have n eigenvalues. Write down this point as a note. Okay, and after this we will find out the eigenvectors corresponding to this eigenvalue, but that way I'll do after the break. So eigenvector corresponding to 4. How do you find out eigenvector? Using the same equation, this one. What will you do? You will just substitute lambda equal to 4 in this and find out the eigenvector corresponding to it. Okay, so what we will do? In A minus lambda I, just substitute in place of lambda 4. So it will get minus 8 here, 2 here, 4 and 3 minus 4, that is minus 1. Okay, and this can be written down like this: minus 8x1 plus 2x2 is equal to 0 and 4x1 minus x2 equal to 0. Okay, this we can write it down like this. So actually if you look carefully, these two equations actually correspond to only one equation. Okay, only one equation, which is what? X2 is equal to 4x1. These two corresponds actually to only one equation. Both of them are same thing. Both of them are actually dependent equations. That's why we will have only one equation like this. Okay, now one thing to note here, that whenever you have infinite solutions, okay, whenever you have infinite solutions, then you will be required to, if you want to write down the solution, then you will be required to assume one of the variable as some constant. So what we will do, we will just say that let x2 or x1 is equal to k. So according to this equation, x2 will turn out to be 4k, so that the x1 vector, eigenvector, will be k times of 1 and 4. Understood or not what we have said? Because there was only one equation between the two variables, or we can say whenever there is a system with infinite solution, this is a system with infinite solution. Okay, so then we will have to assume one of the variable as some k, and then the other can be written down in terms of that variable, and the vector will come out to be like this. Okay, that is k times 1 by 1 and 4, k times 1 and 4. Okay, so now one more thing. First of all, one point we have noted, that if A is an n cross n matrix, then it will have, sorry, I have not written down here, you never said also, so change that. It was n eigenvalues. If it's an n cross n matrix, it will have n eigenvalues. Now what I have said, if I have calculated the eigenvector corresponding to one eigenvalue, then how many eigenvectors will you get? Corresponding to one eigenvalue, one particular eigenvalue, how many eigenvectors will you get? So these are actually infinite eigenvectors. You can say so that this satisfies for k equal to 1, k equal to 2, minus 1, half, and so on. So for one eigenvalue, we will have infinite eigenvectors. So write down second note. For a particular eigenvalue, there are infinite eigenvectors. For single value of lambda, you will have infinite eigenvectors. But if I ask you, for this lambda equal to 4, how many linearly independent eigenvectors are there? How many linearly independent eigenvectors are there for lambda equal to 4? Then what will be your answer? How many linearly independent eigenvectors are there? Yes, only one. Only one linearly independent eigenvalue is there. These are the set of all parallel vectors. Among those all parallel vectors, you will still say that one of them is linearly independent. So write down the next point, that for a particular eigenvalue, there are infinite eigenvectors and one independent eigenvector. Okay? Any doubt? Any doubt? So similarly, you can calculate for this lambda equal to minus 5, what will be your value of eigenvector. Okay. Similarly, you can calculate. Again, you will get an infinite set of eigenvectors corresponding to lambda equal to minus 5. But for all those, there will be still one linearly independent eigenvector. So in total, how many linearly independent eigenvectors will be there for this matrix? So you will say 2. One corresponding to lambda equal to 4, other corresponding to lambda equal to minus. We had just written a matrix, 2 cross 2 matrix, then we found the I2 of its eigenvalue, and then we found for one particular eigenvalue what will be the eigenvector, and then from that I generalized it. Okay. So the question here is that the value of P such that this given eigen is the eigenvector of the matrix. Okay. Now to find an eigenvector for a given matrix, you always need not go to like this, that first of all find the eigenvalue and then find eigenvector. Do not do like this, because in GATE exam, if eigenvector is asked, then it will be given in the options or even in the question. Like in this question also, the eigenvector itself is given to you. So what will you do? You will just write like this, Ax equal to lambda x. Okay. And use this equation to solve. You need not find out the eigenvalue by finding out this determinant to be 0. Okay. Just take this equation. So matrix is given to you. And let's say these eigenvector, okay, eigenvector is also given to you, which is 1, 2 and 3. Let's say lambda is the corresponding eigenvalue. So it will be lambda times 1, 2 and 3. So you need to find out the value of P. First of all, for that you need to find out the value of this lambda. So what we will do, we will just multiply the first row with this column so that you will get the value of lambda first. This will be equal to lambda times 1, that is lambda. So lambda is coming out to be 4 plus 2, 6, 6 plus 6, 12. This is your lambda value. Now again multiply the second row with the column to get 2 lambda. So it will be P plus 2 times 2 plus 1 times 3 equal to 2 lambda, which is 24. Solve this to get P as 17. Very easy question. Whenever a question is asked regarding eigenvector, just use this equation. Okay. Next write down properties of eigenvalues and eigenvectors. Write down the first property. Write down the first property. So first two properties are about the sum of eigenvalues and product of eigenvalues. Very important properties. Many questions are asked from this topic. So sum of eigenvalues is equal to what? Trace. And what is trace? What is trace of a matrix? Vetri, do you know what is the trace of the matrix? What do you mean by trace of a matrix? Reply. Yes, trace of matrix is known as the sum of principal diagonal element. Yes, very good. So trace is nothing but sum of principal diagonal elements. Okay. Now these two properties are useful to find out a short trick for a 2 cross 2 matrix to write its characteristic equation. Okay. Now what is a characteristic equation? Characteristic equation is nothing but a polynomial. Okay, it's a polynomial. Now you know that if there is a n cross n matrix, then there are n eigenvalues. And why n eigenvalues? Because this characteristic equation will be an nth degree polynomial. So similarly, if it's a true cos 2 matrix, that means there will be 2 eigenvalues and the polynomial will be, or the characteristic equation will be, a quadratic polynomial. Yes or no? We know that for a general quadratic equation, we can write it like this. A general quadratic equation can be written like this: lambda square minus sum of roots into lambda plus product of roots equal to 0. Now using this property, you can directly say it is equal to sum of roots. Roots for this characteristic equation are nothing but eigenvalues. So sum of roots means trace. So trace of the matrix A times lambda plus product of the roots, matlab product of eigenvalues, that will be the determinant value of A. So this is a short trick to find out the characteristic equation for a 2 cross 2 matrix. Applicable only for 2 cross 2 matrix. Okay, like in this case, now you need not write A minus lambda equal to 0. You will directly say that it is characteristic equation is minus lambda square minus trace. Trace is minus 4 plus 3 lambda plus determinant. Determinant is minus 12 minus 8 minus 20 equal to 0. Okay. So in this way you can directly write the characteristic equation and then you can find out the roots. Okay. But remember, only applicable for 2 cross 2 matrix. Write the third one, the third property. Write down this third property, that if A is having an eigenvalues of lambda 1, lambda 2 and so on lambda n, then A to the power, or sorry, K times A will have eigenvalues as K times lambda 1, K times lambda 2, so on K times lambda n. Similarly, A transpose will have same eigenvalues as that of A, and similarly for all. That here, because calculation of minors is also a typical thing to do, so instead of doing that you can also directly go with A minus lambda equal to 0. Okay, so that is why I have not discussed here, but yes, it's true only. If you must have studied this one, x square minus alpha plus beta times x plus alpha beta, where alpha beta was the product of the roots, alpha plus beta was the sum of the roots. This is the general equation which we have already studied in school level. So using that, because sum of roots, now this is characteristic equation and we have seen characteristic equations, roots are nothing but the eigenvalues. So sum of roots means sum of eigenvalues and that is nothing but trace. So I have written down trace. Then product of roots means product of eigenvalues, that is nothing but determinant. So determinant. Everyone please write it down. Properties are important, very very important. Almost all of the questions based on these topics are solvable using properties only. Okay, so it is that topic which you must be remembered, which you must remember by heart.